All right, let's go to this now. Greece says it will send a naval frigate to the Red Sea to protect shipping after attacks by Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi groups. Yesterday, the Greek shipping ministry advised commercial ships sailing in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden to avoid Yemeni waters. Now, Greek ship owners control about 20% of the world's commercial vessels in terms of carrying capacity. The Iran-aligned Houthis have been using drones and missiles to attack ships and other targets in the Red Sea area in what they say is a campaign supporting Palestinians in the Israel-Hamaswar war in Gaza. The EU is meeting to find solutions. As SABC News correspondent Alex Cadier is in Brussels for us and joins us live now. Alex, this is certainly a huge issue, and I wonder, what is the latest on that meeting?
Well, as we've heard, is that at the moment there is an increasing amount of support for that US-led coalition in the Red Sea, particularly by the European Union earlier today, giving the green light. Of course, the EU does not have a navy itself, but giving the green light for its member states to step up and to start intervening in the region. The EU-led mission to counter piracy off the coast of Somalia was already present, and perhaps some of those ships will be able to be rerouted just further north to the Gulf of Aden and to the Red Sea to really beef up those patrols. As you said, about 12% of global trade goes through the Gulf of Aden and the Red Sea up the Suez Canal, and also that number is even higher if you look specifically at container traffic, so the kind of traffic that has our everyday goods. 30% of that goes through there. We know that 7 of the 10 major shipping companies by market share have already stopped using that region. So the concern by those leaders coming together, trying to find a solution, that is that this may have really serious impacts on global trade.
And we've seen some countries also move to try and make plans here, as we've also alluded to it a little earlier on as well. But what's the latest, when it comes to some of the attacks that we've seen? Do they continue unabated?
Yeah, well, that's one of the concerns, and the Houthi rebels have said they will continue. That is clearly the message from those rebels. They see it as an act of solidarity for the people of Gaza in the face of Israel's military operation there, and that is something that makes 2 of the key players in the region in a bit of a bind, namely Egypt and Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has actually struck deals with Israel, with countries along the coast of Africa, to boost Red Sea security over the years. They see it as a vital trading route, particularly for their oil export. Egypt, of course, will see the Suez Canal as a very, very valuable resource, but they have sympathy for that Houthi position of feeling solidarity towards Gaza, so they are trying to strike that balance, and at the moment have said they will not be joining that US-led coalition. So this story is as much about who is getting involved as those countries staying away for now. At least on the European side, we know that France, Italy, the Netherlands, Norway and Spain are all going to be sending resources in this issue, as is the United Kingdom, and that will be a coordinated response led by the US armed forces. Bahrain, Canada and the Seychelles have also said they will contribute. That in a sense really gives you a scale of how much of a global issue this will be, and how this will have impact from the United States all the way through Africa, all the way through Europe into Asia, because it's such a crucial trading route. Hence why we're seeing cooperation across the board by these countries trying to find the solutions to these attacks by the Houthi rebels.
And in some of the reports, especially when you look at what the United States has been trying to do as well in some of these countries that you've listed, there's also, of course, that move to try and also increase the patrols, around the Red Sea as well. And as you say, it's a global issue. But do they get a sense that what they're putting in place is possibly enough to try and ward off some of what we've seen in terms of these attacks?
Well, we'll have to monitor this story very, very closely in the next coming days, because these ships are being moved into that region. We will see whether or not they have an impact. That is certainly the hope by the US-led coalition, the hope by these countries rerouting their ships. We know that similar international coalitions led by the European Union off the coast of Somalia that I mentioned did help reduce piracy off the Horn of Africa, and that was obviously a big concern, not just for Europe, but also for those African markets trying to trade out via those crucial routes. It will have had an impact for ports all along the coast of Africa, so this will be certainly monitored very, very closely. Now, these ships are being moved moved, and some will be traveling for days to get to the region. That will be something to monitor very closely. But to give you a sense of the impact, if this situation gets any worse or remains as bad as it is, major shipping companies will have to go another route. And to give you an idea, some have gone all the way past and around South Africa to get from Europe to Asia. That adds about 2 weeks in shipping time. That means costs will go up. That means things will become more expensive for global consumers. The other economic concern, of course, is that may then drive inflation back to those countries that have been doing their best to get it back down. So really a global concern for this regional issue.
And let's see then, as you say, let's monitor this in the coming days and see then what happens if the situation is brought to some kind of normalcy, or they might need to beef up even further their security attempts. Let me thank you so much for your time, Alex. Do appreciate it. That is our SABC News correspondent, Alex Cadier.